Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cab and today I'm going to share with you guys that all the books that I read in 2019 that I really loved. And my reading goal for 2019 was to read 100 books, but I could not read and I'm really disappointed with my reading speed. I somehow managed to read 72 books so far this year, and this is going to be my next year resolution to read 100 books, and one of my resolution will be to complete my resolution goals. In 72 books that I read in 2019, some were really amazing and some were really disappointing, so I just collected 17 books here to talk about that. I just enjoyed it very much, and some were so deep and so intense that it's just going to stay with me forever, and they are so good to read that I will just recommend everyone to read that. So let's dive into it because we have a lot to talk. So let's just begin with mythological fictions, and for this, Circe by Madeline Miller, and I just really loved this cover and I just bought it because of this cover, because this was so good looking. And this is basically based on the Greek mythology, and this is about this girl Circe who just born in the house of gods, sun god, and she does not have the powers of gods, and that's why no one just really praise her or love her. And then for sake of her love, she just tried something that is really forbidden in the god's kingdom, and that's why she was expelled to live in a remote island. And in that remote island, she just go through so many conditions and she learned to live and survive there with her witchcraft. And it was really great to read about, because this is kind of women empowerment, and a girl living in just remote island, no one there to talk and to share her thoughts. And I just really love the idea of she tamed wild animals, and that was really great. And I just loved everything about this book, all their siblings and their enemies, their love, everything was so perfect. So that was really great to read. And the next book is The Forest of Enchantment by Chitra Banerjee Devkaruni, and this is basically based on the Indian mythology, Ramayana. And I'm really not very fond of Ramayana, and I really did not like the character of Ram, and everyone just, why, I don't know why they love him. This is really great for me to read because this whole book is just written by the perspective of Sita, a wife of Ram, and it was great to know what's her thought were on the incident that happened and when she was kidnapped by Ravan. And everything was so good because we have always read about Ram, Ravan, and by the men's perspective, but it was really amazing to read with women's perspective, and that's why it was my favorite books of this year. In the terms of non-fictions, I read two books, and one of them is Becoming by Michelle Obama. This is a memoir of Michelle Obama, the former president Barack Obama's wife, and everyone know about her, but I just really like this book because we have never read something like that, and Barack Obama is one of my favorite US presidents so far, and reading about her is so inspirational and motivating that I just devoured this whole book in just 2-3 days. And this is all about her life, that how she was managing between her growing daughters and her husband's presidency, and being a life for herself when she was trying to get and settle in her life. And this is really amazing to read about this woman because she is really inspirational. And the next book is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, and this book is so perfect for every person, every individual can read it. If you're a teacher, a student, whatever you do, you can read, because this is really informative one, because you will get so many information with this, because this is based on the origin of humans, and this talk about the sapiens, how they survived, how they lived, how they learn about the society, culture, and how they just technically developed themselves, and they are ruling this world now. And this is really amazing to read because this has great concepts with so much great examples that you will learn so much from this book. So I will just recommend everyone to read this. So this year I read a lot of romances, and some were really great. And so first one of them is Butterfly Meet Hurricane by Bala Kartiga M, and this one is about these two people, Cyril Brito and Diana Brito, and they were in college together and they were just falling for each other, but there is a problem with them. And this book just really give you a great perspective and different perspective of relationships that are in today's world. And I just really loved this because this was heart touching and very nice and sad. So I just really loved it. It was a very short story, but it was really great. And next book is Forbidden by Tabitha Suzma, and this is a YA romance. This is a controversial, heartbreaking love story between the siblings, and they were just together, and they had a lot of responsibility for their siblings, younger ones, but they find love in each other, and that was really great and sad and heartbreaking because they can just accept these relations in the society, but they can't leave each other, and the ending was really bad. I just really feel crying. Like, next story that I read is Joss and Hazel's Guide Not to Dating by Christina Lauren, and this was a really fun and great read for me. And this is about this girl Hazel and Joss who just were in together college, and after a very long time they meet again, and they just kind of trying to set up each other with the different peoples, but at the last they just fell for each other, and this was really funny and great, and I just really loved this book. And the next book that I read is The Bright Taste by Helen Hong, and this is again YA rom-com, and this one is a very good read for me in 2019. I just started the year with this, and I just really loved. And this is about this guy named Kai who has autism, and her mother was trying to set her up with a Korean girl, and this girl accepted this challenge because she need to settle down for her family, for her daughter, and later they developed chemistry between them, and I just really loved them because they are so cute and their relationship was so amazing. And that's why this one is one of my favorite romance of the year, because the character of Kai was such an amazing. I really liked him. The next book is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secret of the Universe by Benjamin Sage, and this book is really amazing. And this is about this boys Dante and Ari. They were two different people, but they just end up together, and Ari is all just full of self-doubt and has problem with the society. He keeps on complaining, and Dante is full of life, and I just really love the character of Dante because he is so good, and Ari has so many complications with him. And I did not want this book to finish because this was so nicely written and this was so amazing, and this will be rereading in 2020. The next book that I read is Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adeyemi, and this is a YA fantasy, and this is one of my most favorite book cover, and this has a very beautiful story of these people who have magic in them, and their ruler has just tried to kill them and bury them, but they rise and they just fight for their magic, their land. And Julie is one of the main character, and she has such a great personality, and this has one of the hate to love romances that I really enjoy, and this one is my favorite one because this is a debut novel and this was so fantastic. It just great. Next, my most favorite book of the year is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, and this is another YA fantasy, and this is about this girl Maya Tamrin who just dressed as a boy and entered into this tailor competition in the royals, and where she has to fight with other tailors to win this title. And the final competition was really hard because she had to make the dress with the celestial things like the moon, the sun, and the stars. And I really enjoyed this story because one of the character, the main protagonist, is a girl, and she was so powerful, but she don't know about her powers. And then there is Eden, who is one of my favorite male characters so far, and their love stories, their magic, their struggle to get the things for the dress, and this was so amazing to read. I really enjoyed this book so much. And the next book is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, and this is another YA fantasy, and this is about the society where people were just differentiated on the difference of blood. One of them were red blood and other were silvers, and silvers have power and red just kind of slave to them, and red serves the silvers. And then there is this girl Mare who just realized that she is quite different from the other peoples, and she has a really great power, although she is a red blood. And I just really loved her character, and she was so good, so fierce and strong. And then there is a love triangle that really good to read, and I just really enjoyed this book too. The book is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this book really great and new and astonishing for me, because I did not expect this to be so good. I thought it was just going to be a normal contemporary book, but this is about this famous singer Daisy and her band the Six, and this whole book is about how they just separated and what really happened between them, that they just left the band. And it was really great to listen to audiobook, because every particular voice was just making it alive for you, and that's why I just really enjoyed it. And Daisy Jones was, oh my god, she's just one of my favorite characters that I could relate to, and that's why I really enjoyed. And the next book that I read is Final Girls by Riley Sager, and this is a thriller. And now I can just remember that I read just one thriller this whole year, and oh my god, this is really freaking crazy, because thriller is one of my favorite genres and I just love to read thrillers. But this year I don't know why I did not read so many thrillers, and this book was so great to read, because this has a very difficult one story that I was never expecting. At the very beginning I was really confused with the story, and sometimes I was pissed off why they are not going to the point, so what the real incident is. But later I just really enjoyed it, because it was just freaking my mind and it was making my mind upside down, and that's why it was the real thriller. It should be, because if you know what the thriller is going to be in like, then it will become boring, and this has a really great ending. I just really loved it. And the next three books that I'm going to talk about is one of my favorite books of this year, and it does not mean that all the books that I talked about were not my favorite, but these three books have a really special place in my heart, because I really enjoyed it a lot, and they were just settled deep down my heart. So the book is Bridge of Clay by Marcus Zusak, and when I was reading this book I was in the verge of DNFing it, because I was really confused and clueless about the book, that where the story is going to or what the book is all about. And then I thought, why not push myself a little bit more and try to give it some time and have some patience. And this book was worth it, because this has a really great story and this was brilliantly written. It's about these 5 Dunbar boys whose mother has died and her father have left them, and they are living all by themselves. And though the story is not very straight, it keeps switching from person to person in the past, but it has a really great story to talk about. It has so many points that will make you laugh loud, and then there is some of the incidents that make you cry. I really love the character of Matthew, the elder brother, and though this whole story is about clay or all around clay, but I really loved Matthew because the way he is narrating the story, it was really great and heart-touching story, and I just really loved this book. The next book is again by Marcus Zusak, The Book Thief, and this has a whole new concept, because this whole book is told by the perspective of death, and it is really a great concept. And this is about this girl who liked to read and she just stole the books, and death is telling her story by stealing her diary or book. And this has a really great story during the war, when Jews were just saving their life and they were just trying to do anything to just save themselves. And this is so heart-touching and sad and inspirational. It has everything that I really loved. And my most favorite read of the year is The Nightiangle by Christine Hanna. though I have two books that are on number one places, and these two books are my favorite. Both these books are historical fictions, and both are written during the World War II, and I just have so many great feelings about these two books. Though this one is the most favorite of all time because of these characters. This is about these two sisters, Vienna and Isabel, and they were just trying to survive during the Second World War. But Isabel was one of the girl that has a lot of courage, and she just want to do something for her country and just want to take part in this war, and that's why she is one of my favorite character. Though Vienna is also my favorite character, and there is too many characters that I really loved in this book, but this has a story that just I was blown away by this story. It was so good and heart touching. It just settled deep down your heart, and it's not gonna leave you. So yeah, that's it. I have these beautiful and great books to talk, and I just loved these books, and I'm grateful that I read this year, and I have a lot more to explore in the next year. So I will see you in New Year maybe, because this may be last video of this year. So I will see you in my next video in New Year. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.